So how big does something have to be before you can orbit shit around it?
It probably depends upon what you're trying to orbit.
Jack is like right at the limit.
I don't know. So the Earth is dense enough. No, the Earth is big enough in mass to have something orbit around it.
Okay.
If you crush the Earth down to a baseball, it's the same mass and it's dense. So could I like throw a pea and would it go around it?
The short version is yes. If the Earth were the size of a baseball, then an object can be put into orbit around it. But the long version is a much more interesting and much more complicated no. Firstly, let's look at a simpler version. Instead of keeping the Earth's mass the same as it shrinks, let's keep the surface gravity of the Earth the same as we shrink it down. In this case, it would actually be possible. The speed is going to be low enough that a normal person would be able to throw a pea into orbit. In fact, at this size, with gravity at its normal level, a person would actually struggle to throw soft enough and avoid sending the pea out into space. In the next case, the Earth is shrunk, but it maintains its mass.
The gravity would be mental.
Oh, you mean you press the mass of it down to
Yeah.
that? Yes.
It'd be a black hole, probably.
It would be a bit mental.
At the size of a baseball, the Earth would not have enough mass to form a black hole. However, close to its surface, the gravity would be about 100 trillion times stronger than that what we're used to. Because of this, the pea will need to be travelling 10 million times faster. Fortunately, this is below the speed of light, and so it is possible. But this does mean you would need super strength in order to be able to throw it into orbit. But there's a problem. Gravity gets stronger the closer you get to an object. And with such a small object, it gets stronger very quickly. This means that the bottom of our pea is being pulled down by gravity with a much greater force than the top of the pea.
You said gravity could stretch me?
Yes, the Earth's gravity even now is actually stretching you, but it's only by a tiny amount and is not noticeable. However, for the pea, which is again really close to a really small Earth, the differences are massive. And the pea feels as if it's hanging under 6 trillion times normal Earth gravity. The pea will not survive this. It'll be ripped to pieces, forming a disk that will quickly spiral down to the surface of the Earth. In this case, the way to achieve orbit is actually counterintuitive. If you were to grow the Earth and make it bigger rather than smaller, the effect of the gravity would be reduced. The Earth would have to be expanded well beyond the Moon's orbit, to about 84 times its current size. This will weaken the gravity at the surface, making it possible for a normal person to throw a pea into orbit. Of course, in order to get any of these examples to work, you would need to be dead. This is because air resistance would pull the pea out of orbit, so we need to get rid of the air. And oxygen is a big deal.